Hey everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith's Print and Pray Shop. I've got a new Bible journaling process video for you today, and I'm going to be using Brianna Showalter's brand new set to the shop called It Is Well. Now I'm cutting out one of the It Is Well ephemera and cards, and then you'll also see that I've got an alphabet set there. So that comes from a different set called the It Is Well Floral Alphabets. So I printed the alphabets on clear sticker paper and then the rest on white cardstock. And I am going to take a lot of inspiration from the one and only Elaine Davis today to get this entry done. So my tool of choice is going to be a baby wipe, and then I'm going to use a couple different things to get some color on the page. To start with, this Distress ink in Picked Raspberry, and I'm looking here to see where I want to put the card, and that's going to help me determine where I want to put the paint down. So I'm going to trim a little bit of the border off around the card, but I will bring some more of Brianna's beautiful florals back onto the page later on in the video. So I'm simply taking a baby wipe, tapping it onto the Distress ink pad, and then swiping it on my page. I'm going to do a really large section at the bottom to create like a landing spot for that journal card, and then a little bitty piece up at the top too. And then the verses that I'm journaling, Psalm 62, 5 through 8, are left uncovered with paint in the middle there. So I really wanted to layer different shades of colors on this page. So I started with the darkest pink and then planned to cover that up with this really light pink craft acrylic paint. Again, just using the baby wipe to swipe it on there. And I've got my Bible mat underneath to make sure I don't get any stray paint on any other pages. And then I'll go in with that teal satin paint from Target and put that in just a few spots. I really love the contrast between the pinks and the blue. And at this point, it's looking like cotton candy, which is really fun. I'm going to tone down the blue a little bit with some white paint, hit that with my heat tool, and then get to building the rest of the page. So I'm going to read to you a bit of what I put on the blog. It's kind of the heart behind this entry. I was really inspired by this card that Brianna includes that says, "Confidence in the Lord gives my soul the freedom to rest in Him." Now, I do not love flying in airplanes, and I especially do not love flying in airplanes over tropical storms, while the flight crew is strapped in their seats with the most solemn expression on their face. But maybe that last part was a little bit of my imagination. But that's where I found myself several months ago, somewhere over the Gulf of Mexico. Usually, I'm quick to pick a window seat over the wing and glue my eyes to the airplane channel on the seat back in front of me. There's something so comforting about constantly monitoring the aircraft's speed and altitude in between the loop of advertisements, even though I have a little idea of what those measurements actually indicate. But on this flight, I was in the aisle seat of row 4 without my beloved airplane channel, searching the seatbelted flight attendant's face for clues about the fate of our flight. As we were jostled around the plane, I leaned over the middle seat to catch glimpses of the sky whenever my roommate lifted the shade. And as we zoomed through the clouds, I was reminded of who spoke them into being. Psalm 62:5 says, "Yes, my soul, find rest in God, my hope comes from Him." Another version says, "Wait in silence for God, or be still. Patiently and confidently expect His aid." So, some 30,000 feet in the air, I opened my Bible app on my phone and began reading. My teeth became unclenched, my whole body relaxed, and a smile spread across my face as I read His Word. Verses 6 through 8 in Psalm 62 go on to say, "Truly He is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, I will not be shaken. My salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Trust in Him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts to Him, for God is our refuge." It's so tempting to put our confidence in a doctor's diagnosis, or the bank account balance, or even the airplane channel. But instead, I encourage you to confidently trust in the one who, as one pastor reminds us, governs every heartbeat and safe arrival to every destination. So that's what my entry is about. It's a reminder in the margins of my Bible to find rest in Him, to patiently and confidently expect His aid, and in nothing else. So at this point on my page, I've got a lot of pinks and blues happening, and I really want to bring in some yellow. So I'm going to look to this washi strip set that Brianna includes. I've got this printed also on the clear sticker paper, and instead of using it as washi tape, I'm going to cut around the florals and use it as little flower stickers. I love this older stamp with this pair of eyes closed and these little eyelashes. It's just a great visual that I think goes along with the theme of this page. Next, I'm going to write my journaling next to the verses that I'm talking about and simply just taking what I shared and shrinking that down into like a 2-sentence response to the Lord. Next, I'm going to add a date with the Studio Calico Mega Date Stamp, and then cut out a few more flowers to put around this card at the bottom. Now I want to bring some more black to the page because there is a lot of bright color happening. So I'm going to take my journaling pen and outline this card a few times, and then look to my trusty Illustrated Faith watercolor palette. I didn't have any water in my water jar that I usually paint with. Fortunately, I had a glass of drinking water and was able to use that in a pinch. So I'm just going to pick up some black watercolor and splatter it down onto my page to bring in the one last finishing touch and just to add a little interest. And that's going to do it. I've got a couple close-up looks at my page. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are interested in picking up Brianna's set, I've got it linked down in the video description below. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.